It's Thursday, so it's trash day, and we have a lot of planes and helicopters going on. It's like traffic everywhere you go. So it's the morning after my microneedling, and I wanted to show you what I'm looking like. It's not nearly as bad as the first time that I did it. And as I said, I left that hyaluronic on for a while, and then I rinsed my face a little bit and put some more on because it was starting to flake off. And then this morning I washed my face with the Tatcha oil, something really, really gentle. And then I put on the Puking Yule toner essence that has a lot of astragalus root. I put on just, I think I have a couple more drops of this Hada Labo hyaluronic acid. Then I did this by AVENE. This is actually made for post-procedure, so there's nothing in here that is going to be damaging to your skin. There's no fragrance, there's no alcohol. It's a very clean program. And then the liquid gold, this mimics the skin's barrier. I've spoken about it many times. I adore this. It is ceramides, omega fatty acids, there's the plane, and cholesterol. The correct ratio and pH of the skin's barrier. And then I put on my JOSIE MARAN sunscreen. This is a mineral and it is oil-based, so it is moisturizing and smoothing and perfect for post-procedure, I think. And I just wanted to show you a couple of things. If you find your skin is quite dry after this, there's a couple of things that I really like that I wanted to mention. Two are by ROCHE. This is the CICAPLAST BALM. And this is panthenol, which is vitamin B, shea butter, and glycerin. So pretty clean stuff. And it's always good to keep around. Then this LIPIKAR Balm AP. I initially got a sample of this at CVS. I bet you didn't know they have samples at CVS. And I really liked it. But the sample was, you know, typical sample like this. I thought it was for the face. And when I decided to buy it, I was shocked it was so big. Apparently this is face and body. Now usually when something's face and body, it's not going on my face. But this is really solid. It's not something I wear it when I'm having issues, right? And I try not to wear it for more than 3 days in a row because I'm afraid it might give me a pimple. But it's pretty nice, and it is shea butter, thermal water, and niacinamide. And then the last thing I wanted to mention was this CEREVE night cream. And this is skin renewing night cream with glycerin, shea butter, ceramide, niacinamide, and hyaluronic acid. Now, I wouldn't do a niacinamide serum right now, but I think probably in something like this, it wouldn't be bad. So these are three really occlusive. They're not hydrating. They're moisturizing though, and will help with any roughness or discomfort that you might be feeling if this procedure is leaving you really dry. What I really wanted to talk about today is makeup. So I'm not as red as I was last time, but I do have some redness, and I wanted to just sit down and show you what I'm going to do. We'll see if it's going to work. I haven't tried this, but I'm basing it off of some videos I've seen Lisa Eldridge do in the past. So I don't want to go in with something that's a heavy foundation because that isn't going to look good, and it's really not going to look good after procedure because you know, you poked holes in your skin. The skin isn't likely to look too incredibly smooth. I think it'll be rough for a couple of days, and after 3 or 4 days I'll use a muslin cloth and kind of sweep all that old skin away. So heavy foundation right now, I don't think it's such a great idea. So I'm going to try to do this, which is, oh, I'm not going to do that. That's Bite. And I don't think that the Bite Changemaker is going to work with the JOSIE MARAN. Bite is beautiful if you have the right sunscreen on. If you don't, it's a disaster. So I'm going to try the Reboot. And then I'm going to do the Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage and see how that works. I have 2 colors in the Reboot, and I just can't really tell which one is best for me. I ordered the 315. I'll get in a couple of days. So let's do that. I'm really kind of liking this. It's not full coverage. Ooh, there's not a lot left in here. It does have a little bit of a scent. And this will kind of help my overall redness. The JOSIE MARAN does leave a slightly white cast, for sure. And I just have a feeling the Reboot is going to work better with this sunscreen than the Bite. If it kind of hurts, kind of does hurt a little bit, I'm going to move on to a fluffy brush. And this brush is an old, I think it's a Trish McAvoy. It's Goat. It's like a big eyeshadow brush. I think I used to use it as a blush brush, but I think it's great for putting on foundation. Just make sure this is all blended in before we go in with some spot concealing. So for concealing, I just pulled out some of my smaller brushes. This is the brush I usually conceal with, and I definitely am going to be using that. But I want to have a little more precision. This is a nice brush, but I believe this is natural hair, so I'm not going to do that. This is an eyeliner brush. This came with my L'Oreal gel eyeliner. And it's not terribly pointed, but I think it might work well. This one is an old Bobbi Brown. Both of these are Bobbi Brown. This is a concealer, and I like the way that this has a point on it. So I think I'm going to do that. This one is natural, but I might set this aside in case I tap something on it and want to blend with the brush instead of my finger, because the finger is actually not as precise as that brush is. Now this Laura Mercier product is very stiff, and you could just warm it up and put it on your hand, warm up the other side, and put it on your hand and kind of blend on your hand if you want. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. Let's see what the color looks like. So definitely, color's too yellow. But because of the position of it, I'm kind of okay with that. And the redness might be just too much, really, for me to handle with a concealer like this. Maybe it should be more like an under-eye concealer, but we're just going to give it a try. And I think I'm going to use a denser brush to blend this out. So this is a shadow brush, which has a shadow in it still, so let me clean that off. I think you can use brushes for whatever you want to use them for, but you might not remember what you used it last for, so always give it a check. And use this to kind of blend it in instead of my fingers. Okay, that's not bad. I'm going to do around my nose where my glasses over the years have kind of scarred me up. And this month, since I did the first needling, I've been wearing, you probably saw, a paper towel right here and putting my glasses on it so the glasses won't touch this area. But unfortunately, I still haven't seen any improvement yet. I'm not going for perfection, I'm just going for toning down that redness. Otherwise, I have this sun damage here. I'm just turning that brush around to blend out the edges. And I think I need a little more foundation. My face tends to eat foundation by the jawline. I'm just going to do both sides. And I'll just go over the areas that I blended in. There might be a little foundation left on this, would be great anyway, because that concealer is a teeny bit yellow and a little bit more of a blend. But I'm barely touching. Okay, I think that is not too bad. I still see a little redness over here, but I don't want to go too ham. I'm not looking for full coverage. I just want to tone down the redness. As I said earlier, the more you put on, the more your texture will show from the Procedure. So I'm just go over the forehead pretty gently. Okay, a little concealer for under the eyes. Lately, last couple of days, even though I just did a video of another technique, I'm always looking for better. And the last couple of days, I've been back actually to the Nikki tutorials, but with different products, where I'm just putting this on. I'm not putting on primer or anything. We'll see how it works today. And this Tarte powder. All right, pretty good. Let's do some eyes. This is a Bobbi Brown cream in the color Suede. What I don't like about this is it's perfect with your fingers, but it's hard to get your fingers in here if you have any nails at all, and I hardly do, because you get it underneath your nail bed. Just kind of feel around where the socket is, and I'm going to share the application with both eyes, because I'm just doing a little bit. I guess you could say the goal is more of a natural look. You know, so you've covered up your red, but now you look a little bit weird because you do have foundation on. So you want to do something, but you're not going for a makeup-y kind of look today. So a little tight lining because I always tight line, but I guess I'm going to get the waterline too. I got this the other day. This is a Sephora eyeshadow palette, and they have 3 in my store, and there's 1 online. These are pretty good. I have to say, this yellow doesn't stay like this on your lid, but these are not the kind of things you put on and they, as you blend them in, they just fall away on your face. They stay there. And I just want to recede the hood a little bit more. And this Bobbi Brown cream can kind of act as your primer in a way. And pull out just a little bit. It just works against this drooping right here. If I apply a little something. There. Just a little something something. And a little bit of blush. Just the teeniest bit. Even this brush is so soft, really soft. Even this is like, it feels scratchy. It feels like a goat hair, and this is squirrel. So I don't want to do my usual blending thing. If I feel like I need a little help, I'll just go over it with the Beauty Blender. And that is pretty much it. You could do a little color on the lips, but I just wanted to show you how to go about putting on some makeup so you can get on with your life. I feel like the first time I did this, my face was so red. There was you could see the bumps and everything from the damage that I did. So even though I put on makeup, it didn't look so hot. This time I was much, much better, and I do think I could get away with going out in the world. I haven't put on any mascara or anything. It's just toning down all that redness, and I think it's pretty solid. Let's face it, I made mistakes on my first one. My skin did not look good when I put the foundation on because you could see all the bumps and everything that I was doing. Here, you can see a little bit of the bumps, I think. Not too bad, but I feel like I can go out in public this way. I think this is going to be it for me. It's covered my redness, it's toned it down a little bit, but the makeup's not too heavy in its texture, so you're not seeing everything that's going on so much. It's there, you'll be able to see it, but I think if you go in with a heavier foundation, you're going to see it worse. So going in with something kind of thin like the Reboot and then the Laura Mercier to pinpoint some areas and blending it in really well, I think that's fine. Let me move you in a little bit so you can get a better look of what's going on. I'd say from here down everything's fine. Really, it's all around the forehead. Certainly not perfection, but I think it's probably the best way to go. So that's going to wrap it up. I hope you found this helpful. I really like the idea of showing you the follow-up, some of the creams that you can use, the sunscreen that you can use, what I did for my morning routine. I've already laid out what I'm doing on certain days in the video last night where I did the microneedling. But, you know, what do you do the day after when it's really red? I think this is a good solution, and I hope it works for you. If you give it a try, if you're doing microneedling, this might be a way to go about it. I appreciate you spending a little time with me. I really hope that my content is helpful to you, and I hope you come back again. In the meantime, I'm wishing you a great day.